Hello and welcome. Namaste from New Delhi. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Gautam Roy. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. India and Singapore unveil a roadmap to expand their comprehensive strategic partnership after talks between the two prime ministers in New Delhi. They decide to enhance cooperation in AI, quantum and other digital technologies. Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelenskyy exits the Elysee Palace in Paris as around 30 key allies pause their talks before getting on a call with US President Donald Trump on security guarantees for Kyiv. And foreign direct investment in India rises by 15% to 18.62 billion US dollars in April-June FY26, with the US becoming the top source of funding. A bond anchored in shared values, robust linkages and people-to-people contacts. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today held delegation-level talks with Singapore's counterpart Lawrence Wong at Hyderabad House in New Delhi. This is Prime Minister Wong's first visit to India in his capacity as Singapore's top political executive. The two sides also held comprehensive discussions focusing on avenues for deepening multifaceted partnership. The Singapore PM's India visit coincided with the 60th anniversary of India-Singapore diplomatic relations, reaffirming the continued commitment of both the nations to further strengthen partnership. Following these talks, which saw the exchange of documents and agreements as well between the two sides in the fields of digital innovation, green transportation, civil aviation, skill development and entrepreneurship and space technology. Addressing a joint press meet, Prime Minister Modi said relations with Singapore go far beyond diplomacy. He informed that India and Singapore today have prepared a detailed roadmap for the future of the partnership.
आज हमने अपनी पार्टनरशिप के भविष्य के लिए एक डिटेल्ड रोडमैप तैयार किया है। हमारा सहयोग केवल पारंपरिक क्षेत्रों तक सीमित नहीं रहेगा। बदलते समय के अनुरूप एडवांस मैन्युफैक्चरिंग, ग्रीन शिपिंग, स्किलिंग, सिविल न्यूक्लियर और अर्बन वाटर मैनेजमेंट जैसे क्षेत्र भी हमारे सहयोग के केंद्र बिंदु बनेंगे। हमने निर्णय लिया है कि आपसी व्यापार को गति देने के लिए द्विपक्षीय कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव इकोनॉमिक कोऑपरेशन एग्रीमेंट और आसियान के हमारे फ्री ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट का समयबद्ध तरीके से रिव्यू किया जाएगा।
And asserting that technology and innovation are the strong pillars of the partnership, Prime Minister Modi said that the two leaders have decided that cooperation in artificial intelligence, quantum and other digital technologies will be enhanced.
टेक्नोलॉजी और इनोवेशन हमारी साझेदारी के मजबूत स्तंभ है। हमने तय किया है कि एआई, क्वांटम और अन्य डिजिटल टेक्नोलॉजीज में सहयोग को बढ़ाया जाएगा। आज स्पेस सेक्टर में हुए समझौते से अंतरिक्ष विज्ञान क्षेत्र सहयोग में एक नया अध्याय जुड़ रहा है। हमने निर्णय लिया है कि हमारे युवाओं को उनके टैलेंट को जोड़ने के लिए इस साल के अंत में इंडिया सिंगापुर हैकाथॉन का अगला राउंड किया जाएगा।
And Prime Minister Wong of Singapore, during his first official visit to India, thanked Prime Minister Modi for the hospitality and celebrated 60 years of diplomatic ties between the two nations. He said that Singapore will continue to support India's skill development journey. Wong expressed optimism about collaborating with India to set up state-level skill centers to meet industry needs.
Singapore will continue to support India's skills development journey. We are honored to accept India's invitation to be a global partner for the National Center of Excellence in Chennai, which will focus on advanced manufacturing. We will also collaborate with India to set up state-level skills centers to meet industry needs in sectors like aviation, maintenance, repair and overhaul, and semiconductors.
Also, in a landmark development for India's maritime sector, Prime Minister Modi and Singapore PM Wong virtually inaugurated Phase 2 development of the BMCT, or the Bharat Mumbai Container Terminal, developed in partnership with Singapore at Navi Mumbai's Jawaharlal Nehru Port. Phase 2 will enhance the handling capacity of PSA Mumbai BMCT to 4.8 million TEUs, thereby increasing JNPA's overall capacity to 10 million TEUs, making it India's largest container port. This milestone marks a significant step towards realizing India's maritime vision, fostering growth and strengthening the nation's presence at the global stage.
The two Prime Ministers jointly virtually inaugurated the Phase 2 development of the Bharat Mumbai Container Terminal (BMCT) at Jawaharlal Nehru Port, JNP, Maharashtra. This project, developed on a design, build, finance, operate and transfer (DBFOT) basis, is operated by PSA International of Singapore. It is noteworthy that completion of this phase has doubled PSA's terminal capacity to 4.8 million TEUs annually, establishing it as India's largest single container terminal and thus makes JNP the largest container port in the country.
Well, major decisions have been taken by the Indian government to provide relief to individuals, the common man and the aspirational middle class at the 56th GST Council meeting in New Delhi. The meeting was chaired by Union Finance and Corporate Affairs Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. A two-slab system of 5% and 18% GST rates has been approved. Rates on individual insurance policy, medicines and daily essentials have been cut. Take a look.
The 56th GST Council meeting, chaired by Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman on Wednesday, gave its nod to a simplified two-slab system. 5% for essential or merit goods and 18% for standard items, with a steep 40% slab reserved for sin and luxury products. At a presser, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said that the main drivers of the economy, that is farmers and agriculture health, were the focus of the decision of the Council.
Common man items such as hair oil, toilet soap bars, shampoos, toothbrushes, toothpaste, bicycles, tableware, kitchenware and other household articles have all come to 5, whether they were in 18 or whether they were in 12. Similarly, reduction of GST from 5% to nil, 5 से 0 में जाने वाले items indicate कर रहा हूँ. Ultra high temperature milk, the UHT milk, chena or paneer, all the Indian breads will see nil rate. So roti kisi ke upar bhi, chapati or roti or paratha or whatever it is, they all come to nil. Reduction of GST from 12% or from 18% to 5%. इसमें फूड आइटम्स बहुत सारे हैं, नमकीन से भुजिया है, सॉसेस है, पास्ता है, इंस्टेंट नूडल्स है, चॉकलेट्स, कॉफ़ी, प्रिजर्व्ड मीट, कॉर्नफ्लेक्स, बटर, घी, ये सब 5% में आ रही है.
The Finance Minister also announced reduction of GST on 33 life-saving drugs and medicines from 12% to 0%.
Health-related items, 33 life-saving drugs and medicines, and they all come down from 12 to 0. From 5 to 0 and 3 life-saving drugs and medicines used for treatment of cancer, rare diseases and other severe chronic diseases.
Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman announced that insurance services, which currently attract 18% GST, will now be fully exempt.
Exemption of GST on all individual life insurance policies, whether term life, ULIP, or endowment policies, and reinsurance thereof, to make insurance affordable for common man and increase the insurance coverage in the country. Exemption of GST on all individual health insurance policies, including family floater policies and policies for senior citizens, and reinsurance thereof to make insurance affordable for the common man and increase the insurance coverage in the country.
The GST Council also approved a special tax of 40% on sin goods such as cigarettes, pan masala, and gutkha. However, they will not be implemented from September 22nd, but on a later date, which will be notified soon.
That special rate of 40% has also been proposed and it's cleared. That will apply only to pan masala, cigarettes, gutkha, and other tobacco products such as chewing tobacco, products like zarda, unmanufactured tobacco, and BD. The changes in GST rates of all goods except for pan masala, gutkha, cigarettes, chewing tobacco, products like zarda, unmanufactured tobacco, BD, will be implemented with effect from 22nd September 25.
The next generation GST reforms, as announced by Prime Minister Narendra Modi from the ramparts of Red Fort on 15th August 2025, represent a strategic, principled, and citizen-centric evolution of a landmark tax framework which will enhance the quality of life of every last citizen. Bureau Report, DD India.
And Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal termed the GST rate reduction as icing on India's growth story, asserting that every stakeholder, every consumer stands to benefit in the country. The minister urged all to ensure that rate cut benefits are passed on to the lowest level.
Yesterday's announcements are game-changing and will play a very important role in the months and years to come in our journey towards Viksit Bharat 2047. But I'd like to continue to appeal to all of you. I'd like to appeal to all of you that unless we pass on all these benefits of GST to the consumers, and I'd urge you all to resolve that the entire benefit of yesterday's significant concessions in GST given will be passed on to the consumer. We will all ensure that we will buy Indian-made products made by the sweat and toil of our Indian brothers and sisters, made on the soil of India.
And there's more good news on the economic front, as foreign direct investment in India has risen 15% to $18.62 billion during April-June this fiscal year, while the inflow from the US nearly tripled to $5.61 billion during the same quarter. According to government data, FDI during April-June FY25 stood at $16.17 billion. Total FDI, which includes equity inflows, reinvested earnings and other capital, increased to $25.2 billion during the quarter under review, as against $22.5 billion in the same period of 2024-25. The computer software and hardware sector emerged as the top recipient of FDI equity in the quarter, attracting $5.46 billion of total inflows, followed by services at $3.28 billion. And still to come in this edition of DD India Live. Afghanistan earthquake is the deadliest in decades as the death toll has crossed the 2,200 mark. And India's 14-year-old Madhav Gopal Kamath makes history by winning the World Youth Scrabble Championship 2025 title.
always on the move, to the market, to work, to meet our friends. But how often do we stop and think about, is there a cleaner, affordable and eco-friendly way to travel?
Since switching to this e-rickshaw, I feel so much better. Everything is easier with this battery-powered rickshaw.
Our research is focused on a less mature technology, which will be less costly, so it'll be more economically viable.
If you plant new saplings, they'll take 10 years to grow. When we replant the trees, we are also retaining the oxygen the trees provide and preserving greenery.
My dream would be to have a play street / parklet, so we could have the parklet for some adults and some refreshments, and then everyone could come and kids could be playing.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Gautam Roy. Now, international updates, and some 30 Western leaders are currently holding talks with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy over security guarantees for Kyiv in the event of a peace deal with Russia. The summit in Paris of the Coalition of the Willing brought together leaders from Europe, Australia, Japan and Canada, though only some attended in person, with many choosing to join through a video link. U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff also joined the meeting in person. Members of the coalition, which does not include the U.S., have talked for months at various levels to define their prospective military support for Ukraine. Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy left the LEC Palace in Paris as Ukraine's allies took a pause in their talks ahead of a call with United States President Donald Trump, and that conversation has happened. We expect you to get the details very soon. Meanwhile, NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte has said that Russia should have no say on whether international troops are deployed in Ukraine as part of post-war security guarantees. He was speaking at a conference in Prague before joining the Coalition of the Willing Summit on Thursday. Rutte said Ukraine, as a sovereign nation, had the right to decide on its security arrangements without external interference, and that Russia had nothing to do with it.
Ukraine is a sovereign nation. If Ukraine wants to have security guarantee forces in Ukraine to support a peace deal, it's up to them. Nobody else can decide about it. And I think we really have to stop making Putin too powerful.
In Afghanistan, rescue teams are frantically working to reach survivors following the devastating earthquake in eastern parts of the country that killed more than 2,200 people. The toll has been expected to rise as volunteers and rescuers were still pulling debris from the rubble. The magnitude 6.0 shallow quake struck the mountains region on Sunday, collapsing mud brick homes on sleeping families. Frightened by continuous aftershocks, residents gathered in open areas, searching through rubble for missing loved ones. The havoc is one of Afghanistan's deadliest earthquakes in recent decades. Thailand's ruling party, Pheu Thai, has confirmed it would nominate its candidate ahead of a parliamentary vote for a new prime minister this week, a late move that could complicate a bid by the rival Bhumjai Thai party and is packed with the opposition. Pheu Thai, which has been struggling to court support since suffering the loss of its Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra to a court ruling last week, said it would nominate Chaikasem Nitisiri, a veteran lawyer, to go head-to-head with Bhumjai Thai's leader Anutin Charnavirukul for the premiership. Pheu Thai announced it has entered his request to dissolve parliament just moments after the People's Party backed their rival. In a global first, doctors in India have performed pediatric pyeloplasty telesurgery on a 16-month-old child using the indigenously built Mantra 3 robotic system, bridging a 1,550 kilometers. Take a look.
In a world first, history was made in India. A 16-month-old child underwent a life-saving pediatric pyeloplasty, not in the same room as the surgeon, not even in the same city, but across 1,550 kilometers. From Gurugram to Hyderabad, the operation was performed through the Mantra 3 robotic surgical system, India's own indigenously built platform. Leading the way was Dr. Chandra Mohan Vadi and his team, who achieved what no one else in the world had done before, pediatric pyeloplasty through telesurgery. So what makes this milestone extraordinary? Pyeloplasty corrects a blockage between the kidney and ureter. In infants, even the tiniest error can risk long-term kidney damage. Robotic precision makes the difference. Microscale dissection, delicate suturing, flawless reconstruction. With Mantra 3, that precision traveled across states, breaking barriers of distance. The result, safer surgery, faster recovery, and hope for countless children. This is more than a medical feat. It's a revolution in healthcare access, where expertise can reach the remotest patient anywhere, anytime. Affordable, accessible, indigenously made, Mantra 3 is not just a robot. It's India's vision of healthcare without borders. The world's first pediatric pyeloplasty telesurgery done in India. A story of science, compassion, and innovation, reshaping the future of global medicine. Tapas Bhattacharya's report for DD India.
In sports, after settling for a draw against Korea in their opening Super Fours match, Team India is all set to clash with Malaysia. In an exclusive conversation with DD India's Gaurav Kumar, Indian hockey team coach Craig Fulton shared insights on the team's preparations for their second Super Fours encounter and the lessons learnt from the opening game.
Right now we have with us Indian hockey team coach Craig Fulton. Craig, what's gone wrong with today's match?
I think nothing went wrong. At the same time, we played a really good match. Like, we doubled everything that they did. We had more circle entries. We created a lot of good chances. Unfortunately, we just couldn't finish. But that's sometimes a negative of the way a team defends so deep for long periods of time. The challenge is we got ourselves into a bit of a fix because we went down and they had something to defend. But we came back in nicely, and with 15 minutes to go, I thought we were definitely going to win it, and it just didn't happen.
What do you like to say about the next match? Because next match is against Malaysia, who has beaten Korea, and a very comfortable win they have got.
Well, that's done. You know, tomorrow's a new day, new game, and we look forward to it.
If we talk about, especially about the team, they have played, gone to the Europe tour, they have played against Australia. So what are the things they have learned from there, and how much it is implementing in this tournament?
No, we worked a lot on the structure that's creating a lot of these chances, and then now it's just the combinations between each other to get super confident and to play well together under pressure, and that's a good thing for us because we've still got 2 big games to go, and then see what happens after that.
Is there any pressure on the team and especially on you because this is a tournament where if you win, you will qualify direct for the World Cup?
No, it's not pressure, it's focus. The prize is the prize for everyone. We want to be there in that final, but we've got some work to do, and we start tomorrow.
So this is Indian hockey team coach Craig Fulton, who's saying that there is no pressure on him, but he's admiring that now Indian team have to work very hard for their next matches. With cameraman Saurabh Bakshi, this is Gaurav Kumar reporting from Rajgir, Bihar, DD India.
Golf in India is stepping into uncharted territory with the vision of Indian Golf Premier League, a first-of-its-kind franchise-based league designed to bring the sport closer to fans. Veteran golfer Shiv Kapoor is among the marquee players in the Indian Golf Premier League, and his presence adds credibility and star power. He spoke exclusively to DD India's Abhishek Mahajan.
Professional Indian golfer Shiv Kapoor is with us. Welcome to DD India. Appreciate you giving us your precious time. First of all, how do you see IGPL changing the way people look at golf in India?
So I think for a long time we've been looked upon as an elitist sport. It's a game that people don't understand. You know, what's the format? What's the whole idea of the game? So I think one thing is, bringing men and women together under one umbrella. I think that's a massive thing for any sport. women empowerment. You know, I being a girl dad, I mean, I understand all of that. Second is you bring a format that's more relatable. I think with cricket, people understand runs. With, you know, badminton, tennis, people understand points. So I think we're trying to bring a different sort of format into golf, which is more understandable to the general public that doesn't play golf.
Cricket has IPL, football has ISL. You think IGPL can do the same for golf?
I hope we can do better. I mean, IPL is a different level altogether. You know, IPL is in a different stratosphere. But as far as leagues go, I think golf's crying out for something new, a team sport, a different format, something that's, you know, colorful, lively. Golf's had this old man sort of sport image for a long time, and I think we need to shred that and, you know, kind of start somewhere new.
Last question, what excites you most about this league?
I think one, the team format. For me personally, being a captain of a team and mentoring young players, but I've said this before, it's, you know, one is mentoring the young players, the other is also learning from them. I think the sport's evolved, it's changing from when I started the game, so not only will I be sharing information of what I've learned, but also be learning a lot from them in return.
All right, thank you for speaking with DD India. With cameraman Shambhunath Mishra, this is Abhishek Mahajan in Delhi for DD India.
Now, an historic moment for Indian Scrabble. 14-year-old Madhav Gopal Kamath won the World Youth Scrabble Championship 2025 title. Madhav emerged victorious among 218 under-18 players from 18 countries at the 20th edition of the annual tournament held in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Madhav clinched the championship in the penultimate round, finishing with an impressive 21 wins from 24 rounds. And that's all we have for this edition of DD India Live, but do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. And for those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India's mobile app. It's available on both Android and iOS. Just scan that QR code on the screen and download the app. And we'll be back with more news as breaks here on DD India. I'm Gautam Roy, and from all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live.